What's up, guys? This is Team All Effects here, bringing you another deck profile. Today I'm going to show you guys Descendant Rush. Alright, so start off is my Descendant Starter. Yeah, guys, I know it's a really old starter. I know you guys haven't seen it in years, but
what is that card?
Alright, so first, this is the starter for Descendant. Alright, what the starter Descendant does is it has the skill that says if I'm on Zillion and I call this other grade 1, which I'll show you later, it activates this skill where I can put this card and the grade 1 to soul and superior right Descendant. Whoa, superior ride during the G era? Isn't that a bad idea? No, it's not, because it pretty much gives you an early anti-meta, and it's gonna like rush your opponent. If they're playing Gear Chronicle, you're gonna get them to fight before they even touch me at 2. Alright? You guys don't believe me? Then keep watching the deck profile. Alright guys, for grade 3s, I run not 2, but 4 Descendant. I couldn't decide on the arts. I love both of them. I know one's a rare, but they're both really great. Descendant, OG card, most of you guys should know it, but if you guys don't, I'll explain it to you. Descendant skill is limit break 4, not generation, way before that. Okay, he has the skill that if he attacks and the attack does not hit, I can counterblast 1, drop 3 cards that are Eradicator from my hand, and stand him again to attack again. Alright?
With a crit.
With a crit. Then his other skill is counterblast 2 plus 5k. We're not going to use that skill. If you do, then you have a lot of counterblast. But if you use it when you don't need it, I pray for you, bro. But I love him. He's a great card. I know he's old, but he's amazing to see all the time. Alright. Whoops. Okay. So, my second grade 3 is 2 Anger Charge. Wow, Anger Charge? A really shitty card? No, it's not shitty, guys. I'm going to tell you right now. Anger Charge right here is my boy, okay? You draw him into your first hand. Doesn't matter. You're going to superior right Descendant when you get the 2 cards that you guys need. Okay, Anger Charge is amazing cards to start killing their field. If they only have a starter, kill their starter. It's mostly the most annoying card that you have to deal with in the game. And that's a true statement from Limit Break to GB now. Alright, so kill the starter, kill that TikTok that is about to go off soon. Alright, get rid of it early. Another thing that's great about Anger Charge, you know, counterblast 1, you take a damage, so during your early games when you pull a heal, you can actually heal 2 by the end of your turn. Because not only from the heal by pulling the trigger, but because Anger Charge heals at the end of your turn. The only bad part is you need an Eradicator, but most of this deck will be Eradicator. There's only 5 cards that are not Eradicator in the main deck, so you'll be fine with the Eradicator problem. So on to grade 2s. 4 Zillion. Okay, great card in the deck. OG, I love him so much. Okay, original game. Like, bro, this is my version of Blaster Blade right here. Okay, Zillion is amazing. When he attacks, if he hits, I can soul charge 1, unflip a damage. Okay, he gets me that unflip for extra skills later on, and then if you're like in a bind, he's always there to help you out. And since for G, if let's say I strike Conquest Dragon, he's a 19k attacker, so he works out well. But you probably won't need that because you know you'll be rushing your opponent before they even strike once. All right. Next, I run 3 Chachars, one of the non-eradicators in his deck, but overall, he's an amazing card. He's an 11k attacker on your turn, and if he hits, you counterblast 1, bind 1 of my opponent's units, and draw a card. So, we've noticed that Narukami has gotten very low on, like, Thunder Striking, and I hope that changes in the future, because we have cards that, for G guards that require Thunder Strike 3 to retire stuff, so we're just getting this a little small Thunder Strike to, you know, be able to put a push into the opponents later in the game if the game lasts longer and your opponent's like lucky with triggers. So that's why Chatar is there, to get you that extra draw and the early bind. And next I run 2 Cho. Amazing card. I kind of love him. He gets rid of like stuff on the field that you don't need at the moment, and in return you retire something from your opponent's front row. So example could be if your opponent you see has like
Blaster Blade or Lou.
Yeah. So if they're playing MLB and they have a Blaster Blade or Lou on their corner and they're about to use it next turn, let's get rid of it now so we have to deal with it. That's an amazing example. Next, I run 2 Sword Eradicator. This guy, he's a Tekken into the deck because I do retire with a few cards already. So he just gets me that extra retire by killing one of my units and killing one of theirs, and as well, you know, the combo of him and the crit. So the crit's in there to be killed, and you're able to add a new card from the top 3 cards So it gets a little bit of like a gold paladin mechanic in there. He's just there to like move around your hand to have a better hand, but like you'll be getting a bigger hand because of your rush. Now lastly, I run one Death Scythe Eradicator. The only reason I run one is because he's not a really great card in the deck. His skills are nice, you know, you call, counter blast, kill something, or you can put to soul when you stride into an Eradicator and kill something. But like overall, he's only good for those 2 moments. He has no plussing power or no extra abilities at the end. He's kind of like a Cholo, but Cholo you can use early game, while you know Death Scythe you only can use once early game and then later when you stride. So he's usually just there on the field until you stride, and by then he gets killed. So that's why I only run him at 1, but he's very useful in my eyes. Alright, so that's it for my grade 2s. Now on to grade 1s. I run 4 of the Eradicator Perfect Guard, keeping everything Eradicator. I understand the other one gets me the unflip, but I run stuff like Anger Charge and other stuff that require Eradicator Counterblast, so 4 Eradicator things. I have things that unflip, so it really doesn't matter. Next I run 4 of Hishin, which is the card that's needed for the Descendant ride. So 4 of them is what you need to get 2 of them in hand. My recommendation, you need 1 of him, you need the Zillion, and you need to put grade 0 to soul, and you'll be able to do that by your 2nd turn when you ride to grade 2. While they're on grade 1, you'll already be on grade 3 getting extra cards in hand. So for him, I understand people are like, oh, but you need to get the 2 cards to hand. That's very difficult to do. Says that's why I'm running it at 4. A little idea is like a good power shuffle comes in once in a while, and you guys will probably have a good time getting a good hand. I haven't had a trouble with this deck, but if you guys have any ideas, you know, let me know. Next I run 2 of 2-Star Dragon, right? He is the older version of this guy, which I think is pretty cool. So I enjoy seeing him a lot. His skill is GB. He gets me an unflip, but he's not very important to me at the moment. He's only good for like the GB turns when you're going into Zillion. He gives that extra rush towards the end when my opponent does his first stride, and I'm going into my first stride as well. But he's only able to be used during GB. He has another skill as well, but it barely goes off. 2 stride enablers. I run 6 stride Gs as you guys saw, so 2 stride enablers gets me the extra stride. But I don't really worry about having cards to stride because you rate to grade 3 first, you get more cards in hand, so you don't have to worry about what you're dropping to stride because you have more cards than you actually need. Next, I run 2 of the Limit Break enablers. Limit Break enablers are perfect for Descendant if I ride into Descendant and I get the Limit Break enabler onto the field early. So my opponent now has to guard, has to take the hit actually to end up at 5. So later on, I'm pushing for more numbers toward my opponent when I stride. So the Limit Break enablers help them and worry them about Descendant restanding, and that's kind of the enjoyment of, you know, taunting your opponent. Lastly, I run Assault Eradicator, Shaki, 1 with, because I only retire a few times in this deck. The majority of this deck is rushing my opponent, so it's more like pushing with attacks. But most of the time when I retire, I want to Soul Blast something in my soul because I don't use my soul a lot. I only use 2 for it for Zillion. So the Soul Blast gets me unflip, and I can use it for Descendant. And if I end up having to not be able to stride, or, you know, using the Soul Blast, using the unflip for other skills that are in my deck. Alright guys, for my triggers, I run not 4, not 8, but 10 crit. Okay? Why are you running a lot of crit? Because I want to crit my opponent and I'm rushing them. Why not stands? Because I want to crit my opponent. Alright? So that's it for crits. But I run this guy for the grade 2 I showed you before. You know, if he gets retired, I can look at 3 cards in my top of the deck, add 1 Eradicator from among them to my hand. So look at top 3. Perfect guard. Awesome. To my hand. Top 3. Descendant or Anger Charge. Perfect. To my hand. I don't mind. It's free cards in my hand, and it's really good. So that's why I run 10 crit. Next I run 2 draw. Oh shoot, no. That's a heal. 2 draw. Why do I run draws? Because I need more cards in hand. I want to kill my opponent with not worrying about them killing my hand. So 2 draw. The only reason I run 2 instead of 4 is because I usually have that problem that most Vanguard players have as well when they pull the draw trigger and they draw with the draw trigger skill, another draw trigger. Wow, what a waste of a draw. So 2 draw triggers, they're most likely spread out, so it doesn't happen as often, and it probably won't happen at all. So 2 draw trigger. Next, I run 4 heal, G guard, guys. You know, that's a new shit. G guard. So that's why I run 4 heal. Now onto strides. Now for the stride zone, you barely touch it because by the time you get to your first stride, it'll probably be your last stride. Maybe your second stride, but it's usually the first or second stride. So to begin, I run 4 Zillion. That's my first and second stride. Just to let you guys know now, when I'm rushing my opponent, they have to guard my attacks because if not, you know, Zillion restands and that's no good for them. And because I run 10 crit, I'm probably going to crit them. So 4 Zillion, first and second stride. If my opponent seems to be persistent and survive after those 2, 4 Conquest. Conquest skill. Unflip. Retire something in the front row. Front row gets plus 5k for every empty card in my opponent's front row. So by the time of you rushing them, they most likely are always intercepting and using their hand because they want to minimize the amount of cards they use. So at this point, retiring 1 unit is all you need to get plus 10k because they're not going to probably have something in the other corner unless they believe that I already have Conquest and call a draw trigger like somebody from ARG did. But I'm not going to get into that. Next, I run 4 Vanquisher Voltage. Why do you want Vanquisher Voltage so late in the game? Well, I run Vanquisher Voltage for one reason. If there's any like problem in my gameplay where I don't get Descendant play off early and I have to go all the way to grade 3 and my opponent's already like putting me in like 4 damage, I would probably consider going into Voltage first. The reason for that would be I want to get to my opponent and already Thunder Strike to them, and then I just need to worry about 1 more Thunder Strike and I can start getting power for the next Voltage if I run out Conquest later on. But he's just there for that one opportunity if I fail my situation, which is usually not a problem. Now for G guards, I run 2 of the Fire's Collection Eradicator. I mean, not Eradicator, I'm sorry. The Noble G guard. Alright. Its skill is Thunder Strike 1. He's a 5k. Thunder Strike's pretty easy to get for 1 because, you know, you have Chatura. And since it's a extra 5k, it's only a 20k guard. Yeah, I know at this point it's not a lot, but I'm hoping in the new sets later on we get a broken G guard. Hopefully not one that unflips a G card because that would be a bad idea because we only got these 2 so far. But let's see what happens. Next, I run 1 of the Thunder Strike 3. I usually don't get Thunder Strike 3, and at the end of the day, if I have to use all my G guards, the 15k is not bad. But if I do get it off and the extra 10k, it works out because Thunder Strike 3 is not hard to get, but you know, at the same time, it's pretty easy to get.
It's so good against Gear Chronicle because they bind their shit during their turn.
Yeah, I understand that. So like them buying their stuff on their turn, I can probably get rid of it before that happens, and you know, stop them from any broken skills they're going to attempt on my turn. So the plus 10k helps as well because, you know, I can guard. I can probably guard if I'm low on hand, but that's usually never the case. And last, I run 1 Dismo. The reason I run 1 Dismo is because of its amazing skill that protects 1 of my rear guards. So if I want to keep one of my rushing rear guards, like a grade 3 Anger Charge or a Chatura, any 11k attackers mainly, or anything that's possibly going to be useful to me during the next turn, I want to keep it protected. So that's why I run Dismo, and those are my 4 G guards. And now, a little bit about Descendant that I like is that, you know, it gives a great push. Overall, it does a lot of damage, and I kind of enjoy it. Now,
there is a problem that a lot of people have with this card. It's like, oh, they can just let it hit, and then the skill is useless, right? But if you let it hit, you're on 10 crits.
Yeah.
You have a big risk.
So that's the problem people think is like, oh, we just let it hit and it doesn't go off. It says, yeah, but the whole point of my deck was to rush you. So I got you to 5 damage. Now you can't let it hit. I got you to 4. You could let it hit and hope I don't pull the trigger, but my first drive check is 3. And then my second one is 2. So it's your risk to pay. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. This was Descendant Rush. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to know more about it and you have any comments, please put a comment below. Other than that, please like us on Facebook, like us on our YouTube page, and give us a like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great day. This is Team OffX signing off.